1, 2, 3, 4. Chop, chop, chop.
It's cure of the what now?
Gather the ingredients.
Cure of the what now?
Not much time to prep before it's time to start the show.
Oh!
Guests are arriving.
Cure of the what now?
Everybody's smiling.
Cure of the what now?
A tasty party starting. Now it's time to go. Woo!
Ooh. Served hot and fresh.
Itadakimasu. Hello, fellow victims of nostalgia, and welcome to episode 23 of
Cure of the what now? Yum.
the one show where we know it's best to just let things die, you guys. Come on now. Do you really need another Fantastic Beasts movie?
Let the past burn.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can't you leave the past in the past? My name is Kat, and man, I forgot what am I? Who am I? Who are you? Where are we?
Is it possible that you are here to stop the PreCure from jumping through a magical mirror portal?
Yeah, I think the PreCure should stay in the ruined
In Splendiferous, or wherever it's called, the Trump Kingdom.
Yeah.
I am your co-host, Joel, and I am freshly hatched from an egg with little flames painted on it.
I was gonna suggest that you had hatched from an egg. You are very egg baby-esque. Those are the vibes you give off, I think.
See. Goo, goo, ga, ga.
Oh, well, since those are the sounds you make, those are your names now.
We shall name him Goo Goo Ga Ga.
Googa for short. Come here, Googa. It's time to podcast. Goo.
Googa is when you get the bad translated toys, like the cheap knockoffs of a Mario Party of a Mario character.
Okay, perfect.
Mario, look out for the Googas.
Super exciting announcement this week.
I got goats in Minecraft. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
It's not about many people care about your Minecraft adventures, but I don't think any of them listen to this podcast.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have to do a separate Minecraft podcast. No, the exciting news is that our very first YouTube video with actual video is live on YouTube.
Absolutely right, and I will try to remember to include a link in the doobly-doo in the upper corner of YouTube. I think I promised to put something in the last 2 episodes, and I remembered on one of them, but not the other. So, mixed success so far.
Cool, but yeah, in that video, we rank the PreCure seasons we've seen. So if you're a fan of yelling at people about how their opinions are wrong and bad, feel free to watch that video. As far as I can tell, that's all ranking videos are for.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was checking the comments this morning, and I looked at Joel, and I was like, I really just want to see someone tell us we have trash taste. That's all I want.
But please do note that if you think that we have trash taste, let us know in what way. Don't just comment you have trash taste because you want us to feel better about, being roasted or whatever the heck.
Absolutely. Any other news or announcements? Goat egg man? Egg goat? Goat egg? Geg?
I don't believe so. Next week's episode might be a little late, but who knows? This episode was a little late. But I don't think that we have any other major news.
At this point, we just kind of release when we feel like it, and we appreciate all of you for listening anyway. Joel, we usually do a discussion question. I was about to ask you for a succinct summary. Do you have a discussion question for me this week?
I have come up with a general idea for a fan-made PreCure season.
Okay.
And I would love for you to add your own insights.
Okay.
So it's going to be a main duo. There may be a 3rd or 4th member that joins later in the season. I haven't thought about them at all. But the 2 girls, I was thinking, what if we tried to do even more? Because Nagisa and Honoka are supposed to be like 2 opposites, right? But by like episode 6, they're already getting along. So I was wondering, can we have a relationship where they are a little bit more at odds with each other?
We're leaning into the adversarial notes that were in Sweet.
Yes, we're leaning into that as well. And so what I was thinking is that the first character, and by the way, these 2 PreCure would live in different areas, and the first episode would be entirely about, I don't know, call her AU or whatever. That's our new friend, so that's why that name popped in my head.
And the second one is BU.
AU and BU. But the first episode is entirely about the first character, and then the second episode is entirely about the second character. And when they transform, I think that one of them should have the motif of fire, and maybe they could be a kind of a hot-headed, they could be kind of passionate about things, maybe warm and affectionate with their friends, like a social butterfly. And then the other one, ice-themed. A little bit more introverted, maybe a little bit more quiet, but also maybe elegant and perhaps really good at school. I don't want to, like, lean into the sports versus, like, smarty pants dichotomy too much, but, like, it does kind of fit in this such situation.
Maybe your fire-based one is actually really good at school because she's super competitive.
Okay.
And the ice-based one is really good at, like, sports that require precision.
Oh, okay,
So
yeah.
usually the go-to for these shows is archery because that's a classic Japanese sport. It takes a lot of concentration. But really, you could do, like, tennis.
Okay. I kind of like the idea of, in the first 2 episodes, these 2 characters don't meet each other at all, and there's, like, 2 generals that are, for some reason, attacking, like, the east side and west side of town. And then I imagine in episode 3, they both show up in, like, the central area, and they both transform, and they're just like, who are you? Who are you? And they can't quite get along, and I think their duty as PreCure bring them together, but maybe they aren't, like, real-life friends, or maybe they try to hang out, and they're both just kind of like, oh, this is a little awkward.
Can the generals be best friends?
Yes, I think that they can be.
Awesome, yes. So I think this season, it sounds like we'll have notes of homogeny versus diversity.
Okay.
So these PreCure, they don't get along and they have some conflict, but they're able to, build off each other's strengths. Whereas the generals get along really well. They've got a bit of an enmeshed relationship, which is no good.
A little codependent or whatever.
Exactly, yes. But they fall apart, essentially, because they don't have anybody to fill in the holes.
Okay, and also, for whatever reason, this season has a theme of dancing and ballet, and the Fire and Ice Girl eventually learn how to dance together, and the spontaneity of one of them goes off of, like, the rigid structure of the other, and the 2 best friends look almost identical. Like, I think in one of the episodes, one of the generals should show up, and they should be like, oh, it's Travis! And you'd be like, I'm Jeff. And they're like, oh, we thought that you were Travis. And then they can also dance together as well, in order to form their combined Ubamauzo mecha thing or whatever.
I love that. That's so good. Oh my gosh. It's too bad that you've gone with fire and ice as kind of their power themes, because with ballet being a part, you could almost do a Black Swan, White Swan thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, we could do that as well. I like Fire and Ice. There's a couple of levels in one of the Super Mario Galaxies. Might be the second one, might be the first one, but I really I don't know, I like that dichotomy.
Speaking of Black Swan, I just want to throw this out there. I have never seen Princess Tutu, and I desperately want to watch it. She can't be in love with a boy. She's a duck.
Absolutely. We can add it to the list of other shows that we're watching. We're currently making our way through Birdie Wing, and for once we're actually watching a show relatively close to when it came out.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. When we finish with Birdie Wing, I'll get Joel all cut up on Tokyo Mew Mew New.
New.
Which I saw the original, and you saw Princess Tutu, right?
No.
Oh, I thought because that one friend of yours in high school really liked it that you had watched it.
I had a friend who really liked it and explained the premise to me, but I didn't watch it because that was still in my I only watch things for boys phase.
Oh, okay. Well, now that we know we like magical girls and romance, we'll have to check it out.
We'll have to see if it holds up.
Do you have any more? Well, actually, I had another thought.
Okay.
So I'm thinking you want color palettes that are opposite on the color wheel.
Okay.
So purple and orange, maybe?
Okay, I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also, when I was coming up with this, I don't think that they necessarily have to have fire and ice powers. I think it's more of a motif, but like cooler colors for one of them and warmer colors for the other. So I think that really works out well.
Perfect.
Okay. And that has been your discussion question. And that means that it is time to go into our succinct summary. So this week, we watched Delicious Party 21, Doki Doki Episode 7 and 8, Glitter Force Doki Doki 5 and 6, the PreCure All-Stars New Stage 2 movie, Friends of the Heart, and I forced myself to watch 3 episodes of Max Heart, one of which, Kat, you watched alongside me. You missed like the first, I think, minute maybe, but you saw most of it.
Yeah.
And, okay, let's see if I can do this. In Doki Doki and Glitter Force, we know that the girls got sent to hell, as happened last time. There was a portal that opened up, And where they end up is the Trump Kingdom. And that term has some funny connotations here in the United States after 2016, but it's referring to the Trump card and the card motif.
Yes, in the Glitter Force version, it's Splendorious.
Yeah, which is just kind of a silly sounding name and doesn't really have any bearing on any. It doesn't have like a deeper meaning. Anyways, they're here. They see the big scary King of Greed, I think he might be called. I don't remember what they called him in the original, but Mackenzie / Makoto explains that this is where she lives. One day, the 3 evil generals, what we've seen so far, showed up along with their king, turned a bunch of people into disdains. There's a really pretty princess that Makoto seems to really be affectionate for. Like, I think what they're going for is more like admiration of, like, an older sister type, but it really, with like the blushing and stuff, kind of feels like it might be women loving women vibes. But the kingdom gets attacked. The princess uses what's left of her strength to seal the king away, and then she's about to be attacked by the generals, and Makoto runs away with her through the magical portal that will take them to Earth. And they're being attacked by magic knives that Belle sent flying after them, and the princess said, like, hey, save yourself, you'll be faster without me, and pushes Makoto away and says, I promise that we'll meet up someday.
Oh, is that what she said? Because I thought I remembered her saying, peace out, bitch!
So she sacrifices herself. Makoto is kind of forced to go to Earth, like she can't stop the portal transfer or whatever the heck's happening. Mana finds out about this, as do Rika and Alice, or Clara, and they all decide to help Makoto look for the missing princess. They fight Belle, they're able to use their teamwork in order to defeat him, and they're able to escape back to the real world. In episode 8, they go to this person who I guess we weren't supposed to know his name. I looked it up on the wiki because, I mean, come on, I need to be able to call him something. But they go to the souvenir shop for the guy who gave Mana, Rika, and Alice their glitter charms. He's not there. They discover an egg. And the egg hatches into this little Cupid fairy thing. Mana immediately imprints on it and becomes a mom. Rika's a little like, I don't know what's going on. Makoto is being tsundere and can't admit that she thinks that the baby is cute, but Davi's like, you should just let them know that you think the baby is cute. And this episode's about Makoto becoming part of the team. The man shows back up and he introduces himself as Joe Okada, or in the English version, he introduces himself as Jonathan, but you can call him Johnny. He plays mysterious and aloof. He doesn't tell them where the princess is. He doesn't tell them anything about the baby. And then he leaves before they can ask any follow-up questions. What the heck? They decide to name the baby either Ai in the Japanese version, which means love, or Dina in the English version, which has no significance whatsoever. Then they're attacked by Marmo, who has summoned a goat distain in the Japanese version. In the English version, no fight takes place because they squished 2 episodes together.
No, it was a sheep.
No, it was a sheep in the Japanese version. They did not fight the sheep.
Yeah, sorry, you said goat.
Oh, sorry. It's the thing that you count to go to sleep, and that's their gimmick, is that they put people to sleep. And what an amazing fight it was, and that's how the episode ends, with them defeating the sheep and Makoto being, like, officially brought into the friend group.
On one hand, that was a really cool monster, and I'm sad they cut it out of the Glitter Force version. On the other hand, I kind of like that Glitter Force doesn't rely as heavily on we have to have a monster fight every single week.
Well, but they did, though, because they combined episodes 7 and 8. What happened is they had the Belle fight.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't counting that, because they fought Belle, not
because
a
they
monster.
fought, yeah, exactly. Also, the English dub seems to, like, play loose and fast with whether they know his name or not, because both versions had the, who are you? You don't need to know my name, because you're about to die. But then Makoto just knows his name, and just calls him Belle twice.
You mean Mackenzie?
What did I say?
Makoto.
Yes, the purple one.
I just wanted to be clear that we were still talking about Glitter Force.
Yes, Mackenzie somehow knows that his name is Belle. And earlier in another scene, Marmo or Ira, I think it was Marmo, referred to him by his name as well. So I'm just going to say I know his name, but technically I don't think in the original Japanese we know it yet. Okay. Moving on, we also saw the All-Stars New Stage Movie 2, which is about Okay, have you ever seen My Hero Academia? Because this movie is My Hero Academia. There are 2 students in class, one of whom wants to be really strong, is kind of loud and annoying and doesn't get along with other people super well. And the other one is quiet and nerdy and knows all the facts about his favorite superheroes. Except in this version, Bakugo finds a shadow that's like, hey, let's do evil deeds together. And he goes, let's do evil deeds together. And they shake on it. And then the shadow like takes over and becomes stronger and stronger until eventually the Bakugo character goes, oh, wait, you're evil? And the shadow's like, yeah, man, totally. And then it's up to the Doki Doki team to show up and save the other girls because the shadow creature invites a bunch of people to a party, all the PreCure to a party. But he doesn't know about the Doki Doki team because they're not in the official handbook that has all of the past summaries, the wiki article, basically, on the PreCure series. So they invite almost everyone, and then the Smile Girls invite the Doki Doki girls, and before the Doki Doki girls can show up, everyone gets captured and turned into crystals. But then Mana and team show up and they manage to meet the Deku analog character and they team up to try to save the world and they uncrystallize everyone. And then there's this big, beautiful moment of them all working together to defeat the shadow monster, who sometimes looks like, was he a cat as a cat shadow thing? Sometimes it looks like it took another form before the final fight, like maybe a humanoid form. I can't remember. But then its final form is an ant, which I thought was kind of strange. Yeah, seems a little weird.
Also, the original is none of those things. He's like a Tanuki looking kind of dude.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on with that. And that is New Stage 2.
Wow, you've talked so much that you've exhausted yourself.
I've exhausted all of my energy.
To the meat of the episode.
Okay, Max Heart episodes 24, 25, 26. Do you remember Futari Wa PreCure?
Yes.
Okay, these 3 episodes are direct callbacks to 3 episodes from Futari Wa. You have the very first episode. Do you remember the older girl who was like a year above Nagisa and Honoka, who was like good at everything but didn't have the power of friendship, and then learned from Nagisa and Honoka how to be a good person?
Yes, I do remember her.
Like Yuka Senpai, I think her name is. She shows up again, and she's like, Nagisa, teach me how to be friendly again. And Nagisa goes, okay, we're friends. And she goes, cool. And then that's it. Also, you remember how in episode 23, the last episode we watched, they got a new combo attack that was like Max Heart Shine Spark or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
That killed Nosferatu.
I'm sorry?
He's dead.
He's dead.
This next episode, 24, has them all in the mansion and they go, what happened? His real name is Blades, but it's so much funnier. They go, what happened to Nosferatu? And the pirate guy goes, I'll handle this. And this episode ends with him getting shot by the same attack. And then episode 25, they're in the mansion, and it's the woman one and Dracula, and they go, what happened to the pirate guy? And she goes, I'll find out what's going to happen, not realizing that she's about to be picked off like the last survivor in a horror movie.
Cool.
Or the second to last.
We're just not going to have any generals, and it'll just be little dude Antichrist running around his house with his Zakena butlers.
With his Zakena butlers, yes. Episode 25 is a callback to that episode where we found out that Honoka's grandma survived the war, and in this episode we find out that the wisdom of the ancients is really helpful. Hikari is secretly worried that she is useless, and the grandma says, you're not useless, and then they fight a battle in which Hikari is isolated and has just been told that she's not useless. So, of course, she's unable to fight on her own, and the other 2 girls have to show up and protect her. I think that maybe the person who wrote the fight wasn't talking to the person who was writing the story in this episode. And then episode 26, do you remember the festival episode? We're doing that again, except this time Hikari is there, and Nagisa gets super depressed because she doesn't know what she wants to do with her future, but everyone else knows what they want to do with their future, and everyone she talks to, they say, you don't have to know what you want to do in the future, you can just continue being your best self. And she goes, that's not good advice. And then at the end of the episode, she goes, wait a second, I don't have to know what my future is. I can just continue being my best self. Why didn't anyone say that? And that's where the episode ends. And those have all been your collective Succinct Summaries!
So succinct! How many minutes into the episode are we at?
We're 20 minutes into the episode.
Yeah, so, pretty succinct.
Pretty succinct.
Joel, what was your...
I didn't describe Delicious Party PreCure. I still have to go back to
Do it
that
fast.
one.
One sentence. What was it about?
Delicious Party, episode 21, is a treatise on death.
No.
What? It is, though. It's
No, I know.
metaphorically about death and moving on and accepting your loss.
It was just for the memes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No,
That was it.
that's it.
Yeah, Ran wanted to save some sweets, but the sweet shop was like, nope, we're shutting down.
There's a store that's closing down. Ran wants to save it. Amane's like, you dumb girl, they want to close down. And Ran goes, I'm going to save them anyways. And then the shop goes, no, we really do want to close down. And Ran goes, oh, I'm sad now. And Amane goes, but that's okay because we're friends now. And then they do a combo attack.
Yes, also they hold hands.
Well, yeah, of course. How else would you do a combo attack? Touching their feet together? Forehead kisses?
Don't keep going, because I'm going to say what's in my mouth, and you won't like it.
What they do is, if you've ever seen Whose Line Is It Anyways, where they have that one game where one person is the body, but the other person is the hands, that's what they do. Ran's the hands, and Amana is the chef, just proudly trying to narrate what the hands are doing.
Amazing. I love it. Okay, so of the stuff we watched this week, what was your favorite?
Doki Doki.
Tell me about that.
Okay. You didn't watch Digimon because you famously believed that it was a ripoff of Pokemon. I watched Digimon, and there's an episode where they go to the Digimon daycare, and there's a bunch of Digi-eggs, and they all have designs on them that real-life eggs would not have. Digimon. I imprinted on that. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you what design about the eggs spoke to me, but this episode, well, episode 8, not this episode, we watched 2, it had a Digi-egg with little hearts on it, and it hatched into a Cupid fairy, basically.
So I didn't watch Digimon, like you said, but I did... My favorite thing to do when I was a preteen and a teenager was to roleplay on the Neopets forums.
Okay.
And when I wasn't roleplaying as wolves, which was my favorite roleplay, I was doing egg hatching roleplays where a bunch of different eggs are described, and then your character picks one and they hatch it, and it hatches into some kind of crazy creature that you befriend. So I also am a big fan of eggs that aren't normal eggs.
This is one of those tropes that I think is just embedded in our subconscious. Like, I'm pretty sure you go back to the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, and you'll see, like, someone looking at 3 different eggs, and they're like, oh, that one! And then it hatches into, like, a sphinx or whatever.
Yes, amazing.
What do you think of Ai?
She's really cute, actually. So when I saw her design before the season started, I was
To be clear, because she's in the mid-credits cards and the opening, and you've also seen artwork before we started watching.
Right, but I was like, gross. I don't like these baby fairy things. No, I want cute animals and nothing else. Like, when I was a kid, I didn't even play with dolls, right? I only wanted stuffed animals. Somebody gave me a Barbie once as a joke, and I hid it because I was so disgusted with the idea of playing with dolls.
Hid it, or you hit it?
I hid it.
Okay, you didn't, like, just start punching the Barbie right in front of them.
I put it away so I wouldn't have to look at it.
All right, that's fair. Fair.
So that's how I feel about a lot of the more humanoid baby fairies. Is like, ew, don't show me that thing. But Ai's really cute, actually. She's all like, wah, and they're like, oh. Yeah,
absolutely. I do. I think the fact that Mana and Makoto have such love for this baby immediately is kind of part of what sells me on it. But no, I think that it's a fairly cute design. Kind of reminds me of the Hardy Elves from Max Heart. Oh, a new Hardy Elf showed up. It was Hope Run, I think. It's a play off of the word hope, and it's, as far as I can tell, the only boy Hardy Elf we've met so far. We can talk about him later.
Okay.
But he looks like Link from Legend of Zelda. He absolutely does. Yeah. But anyways, I like her introductory episode. I wish that characters who clearly knew things in fiction didn't get away with pretending, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Joe Okada is such a weird character because, like, he's clearly giving people items that transform them into magical superheroes that can create clover shields or spade swords. Actually, Makoto didn't get a glitter charm from him, which makes me wonder. Anyways, he's a weird guy, but he clearly is, like, avoiding their questions, and you'd think that Rika, being so suspicious, would be like, get him! Or she'd, like, have a taser or something, and she'd be like, you are going to tell me everything you know. right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you'd think so. And I mean, he would deserve it because he's kind of a weirdo.
The first question that Makoto asks him is, do you know where the princess is? Because remember, Makoto's...
Damn it! No! I had a really funny intro for this episode and I forgot until just now because of what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
All right. I'm so sorry. Makoto asks Joe where the princess is because her motivation is finding the princess of the Trump Kingdom that will apparently restore society, right, to its rightful God-fearing place. And he says, oh, you're looking for a princess. And then he kneels and takes her hand and goes, don't you see, all women are princesses.
Yeah, he says all women are queens.
Oh, that's right.
In the version we watched. And so if I had remembered, I was gonna be like, my name is Kat, and I think if she breathes, she a thought. And then you could have jumped in with the no, Joe taught me all women are queens.
Absolutely. But why do you think he is why do you think he's not telling them anything? Is it important that they discover the truth on their own? Maybe he has some connection to the last group of PreCure. We haven't had a legendary group of PreCure hinted at, but that's a thing sometimes. So. Here's what. Okay, so I have a lot of questions from these episodes, but like, seriously, what the heck? Makoto was already a princess, was already a PreCure, and she already had a fairy partner. So like, how does that work? Was she born into the PreCure system? Was she chosen at like some coming of age ceremony when she was 12? She dipped her pinky in the pool of murky water and it purified, and so they're like, all right, have this cat fairy.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
The princess / queen of the Trump Kingdom.
Right.
Every once in a while, she sneezes, and a baby fairy comes out.
Okay.
And
Now, to be clear, a baby fairy like I or a baby fairy like Davi and the others?
Like Davi and the others.
Okay.
So she sneezed, and Davi came out, and she's like, I don't know what to do with this. I will gift it to my favorite singer as a token of my favor. And then Davi just happened to bond with Makoto.
Or Mackenzie, whatever. Either name is fine. But yeah, I think I hope that there's more explored about this history because as far as I remember, other than Happiness Charge, I don't think we've had a season where like there's a pre-established PreCure. Oh, I guess Heartcatch did it with Moonlight as well. But I want to know how this works. Like I need a bit of an explanation,
Yeah, I agree.
So really quick, in these episodes, Belle's sunglasses are off. Is Daddy-O hotter with or without the glasses?
Oh, that's hard. Because he's more intimidating without.
With the glasses? Oh, without.
With. He's more intimidating with.
He's like a Terminator.
But he's like vulnerable without. And both of those really appeal to me for different reasons.
Okay.
I'm going to say with. I'm going to say he's hotter with the glasses.
Okay. Next question. How wicked cool was that fight?
It was so good. Oh my gosh. I'm really glad that of the two fights we saw, that was the one that made it into the Glitter Force version.
Absolutely.
I just love that he's like shrugging off their attacks. Like he's not even putting in an effort.
Mana tries to punch him, and he sidesteps, and he's like, oh, was that a punch? Or something similar. He says slightly different things in the two versions. And then Makoto tries to kick him, and he catches it, and he's like, you call that a kick? And then just, like, chucks her. He does, like, an energy beam, and Alice tries to create her shield, and it's so powerful that it, like, knocks her over. It was a really cool fight. They're showing us why Belle was not around for the first 7 episodes, or however many it was. We find out that apparently the bad guys are trying to capture what Catherine and I thought was Egogi because of the way it was spelled, but no.
Egogi.
Right, that's what I'm saying. We found out it was ego energy, ego G, and that apparently is what powers Belle to be as powerful as he is. When they do teamwork and they do hit him with a blast, he's like, "Oh, you drained me of my ego G, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not as strong." And so I'm just curious if next time we see him, he'll be weaker, or if he's just going to be in the background for the next couple of episodes, taking a nap and restoring his energy.
Yeah, I think he's going to, like, be sipping from the cup of ego G, as it were.
Absolutely.
I really liked one of his lines in the Glitter Force version. The Glitter Force characters are so much more savage than the Japanese
They're just pure
versions.
sass all the way
They are,
down.
all the time. But as they're attacking him, he says, haha, you girls are all glitter and no force.
That was so good. I do also have to point out, in the first episode of the series, we were like, Mana is the legendary smart cure. And then there was the episode where she and Rika forgot Lance in the science lab, and I went, Mana, you're dumb. I'm sorry, you revealed your true colors. And in the Glitter Force version, when Mackenzie was telling some story, Mana goes, oh, I get it. And Rika goes, do you really? And Mana's like, yeah, more or less. So, like, they're reinforcing that she's dumb. But they get to this room where there's a magic mirror, which is a portal that will take them back to Earth. That's how they're going to escape out of the Trump Kingdom. And Belle's there, and he has the mirror, and he smashes it. And Makoto's like, oh no. And Rick is like, oh no. And Alice is like, oh no. And Belle's like, ahaha, I am evil. And he starts laughing. And then Mana starts also laughing, like, just as loudly and obnoxiously. And Belle's like, wait, what? This is my moment to laugh. Why are you evil laughing? And Mana goes, well, you came here from Earth, so obviously you can take us back. So we'll just beat you up and make you take us. And it's like Mana is showing her intelligence here.
Yeah, she's showing her pinkness, for sure.
And then at one point, Rick is just like, where does this enthusiasm come from? And Alice is just like, it comes from being Mana.
I think Mana and Yum Yum would get along really well.
I think they would, absolutely. Also, it was Mana's birthday in real life, sometime in the last week or so, I think maybe 2 days ago, maybe the 2nd of August. But happy birthday, Mana. I'm not the sort of person who keeps track or cares about fictional characters' birthdays, but the fact that it's the main cure of the season we are currently watching and most excited about, okay, I'll shout that out.
That was pretty neat. Do you want to sing her happy birthday in Japanese right now on this podcast?
No, I don't. I don't think that's okay.
Okay. One more thought that you wrote on the scratch pad. Are you less intimidated by Belle now?
A bit, yes. So when he was just kind of in the background and mocking the other two, it's like, okay, this guy's going to be a serious threat. He's going to show up. He's going to be awesome. And in the episode where he sent them to the Trump Kingdom, yeah, that was pretty intimidating. He seemed to have been waiting for them to all gather under one roof, and he attacks. But when he gets defeated and they're like, we're leaving now, and he's kind of like on the ground, he's like, no, don't go. There's like a desperation to it that loses some of the edge for me.
So for me, I think that was because he was drained of his ego G.
Oh, so like the more he has, the more like cocksure he is.
Exactly. Yeah, I think he was weakened pretty significantly, but when he gets it back, he'll be stronger. And they defeated him with a combo attack. So what if by the time he recovers, he's like, you, Marmo, we're doing a combo attack. And she's like, we're doing a what? He just like grabs her by the hair and is like, we're going.
See, I imagine him grabbing her by the feet and just being like, I'll beat the PreCure with this lady. And just starts swinging around like a bat or whatever.
Beat these ladies with this other lady.
Absolutely. Also, this episode is going to go long with all the different episodes we want to talk about, but quick shout out to the fact that the sheep put people to sleep. Quick shout out to the fact that Marmo was upset that she wasn't getting enough sleep because Ire is constantly bowling in the middle of the night, and so she has like a tiny little zit and that freaks her out. Shout out to the fact that her disdains turn on her and put her to sleep when she tries to command them, but that gives her enough beauty sleep that at the end of the episode she's perfectly like clear-faced again, whatever the term would be.
And then she just leaves. Shout out to the fact that Mana can't sing. Makoto doesn't know this, but the other two do. So when she mentions wanting to sing a song for I, the other two, Rika and Alice, like plug their ears and run away in fear. They look like a bomb's about to go off, yeah.
Shout out, finally, to the sheep putting the PreCure girls partially to sleep. And shout out to Mana and Makoto trying to wake each other up, like slapping each other on the face and like holding each other's faces and being like, you think I is really cute. I think they did this on purpose, but the vibe I got from the way they were talking and slurring their words from sleep, it was almost like two drunk moms agreeing to like raise this child together. And that was really cute. That was really funny.
I love it. Next PreCure mic test, which PreCure is the wine mom.
Absolutely.
While we're talking about Doki Doki, I want to cover the movie, but we can be brief. I don't think there was anything hugely substantive. Did you like this movie?
I think this might be one of my favorite movies. I could not tell you generally what happens in almost any of the crossover movies. Like, there's some initial mix-up where the people are separated or something, and then they get together and they wave the miracle lights and they save the day. This one might just be because it's fresh in my memory, but you had Erica going on the Rainbow Bridge to Majorland or wherever they're going, and she was in, like, the Superman pose. You had I can't remember who it was, the green one from Smile, who has, like, an attack that's, like, a direct attack or whatever, and the bad guy's like, oh, I can just dodge it or whatever, but then she summons, like, 100, and she's like, see if you can handle this, and it's just like... Yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it.
I believe she is Kiera March. And I hope I'm not wrong because I don't want to be corrected.
I think that she's March and Breeze is the blue one from... Yeah, I think so.
Beauty is the blue one.
Okay.
It's weird because, like, all of their names are things that, like, kind of go together. Like, you've got Happy and Sunny and Peace and Beauty, and then you've just got March.
I don't know.
And I don't know either.
Anyways, how did you like this movie?
I liked it a lot.
Okay.
I liked that the main characters weren't really the PreCure.
Oh, yeah, it was about the Deku and Bakugo analogs.
Yeah, and the little fox Deku was so cute.
Yes,
he was so
absolutely.
cute. Oh my goodness, I've been waiting and waiting to meet him, and here he is. And I thought it was a reasonable conflict, you know? Like, this teenager basically wants people to pay attention to him, but everybody's all impressed by the PreCure, so he's like, I know how I'll get attention, I'll beat the PreCure. And then the PreCure are like, have you considered just asking people to be your friends? And he's like, have I considered what?
I love, too, that apparently in this movie they establish that, like, all the fairies go to, like, a common school, and so you see a bunch of characters who look like Floof and Fleef, or whatever they're called, from...
Their names are Floof and Fleef.
from Splash Star, and you have a couple that look like the fairies from Max Heart and Futari Wa, so that was pretty cute.
No lie, I think the baby ones from Splash Star are actually, like, Foop and Moop.
Yeah, no, they are. I just can't remember exactly what, but I think you're right that it's Foop and Moop. Yeah, good movie. I would recommend you check it out. Yeah.
Yep. You know something? Can I share something interesting about Smile that you probably already know?
Okay.
Smile is one of the only seasons. I think it actually is the only season if you count Shiny Luminous, but no mid-season cure.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, because there was that happened right after some tragedy in Japan, right? And I think that they wanted to, like, focus on a more lighthearted series to help ease the kiddos' minds off of it. And I literally don't know what it is, but
that's what we read on Twitter the other day. So,
absolutely.
Anyway, I know a lot of people who are fans of Futari Wa really like Smile as well because it feels like the series going back to its roots.
Okay.
So, if you are a fan of Futari Wa, go ahead and check that out. Speaking of Futari Wa Max Heart, let's get this out of the way. Did I miss anything? Should I watch these episodes?
No. Oh, I alluded to the fact that Nosferatu was destroyed by the laser beam, and theoretically, he didn't know to get out of the way, but I don't remember him getting hit by it, right? But then in the episode with the pirate guy, I was waiting for it, because they now know that one of their generals has been killed, supposedly. I assume they're going to come back in some capacity. I don't know how. Technically, they don't even know that he's dead. They're just saying what happened to him. So maybe he's, like, in a really, like, weakened state and he'll slowly grow back. The pirate guy definitely had a chance to get out of the way of the laser blast and probably should be suspicious that this attack is the one that killed Nosferatu. But the lady, who also similarly doesn't seem to try to get out of the way, did survive it for 2 episodes in a row, so I don't know what's going on with this series. Feels like weird artificial padding.
Okay. Well, I mean, Hikari, she's actually the Queen of Light, right?
Yes.
And now that she's killed some people, you could probably say she's a killer queen.
Oh, okay.
Would you say she's dynamite with a laser beam?
I don't know if she's dynamite, but she definitely helps some girls summon...
Guaranteed to blow your mind at a time. All right, that's all the Max Heart we've got.
Nagisa in episode 25 does get confused about the phrase haste makes waste, and instead changes it to haste waste cakes. wastes cakes, and yeah, I think that's a better one, honestly.
I think that's a better phrase too, actually. As somebody who bakes, if you rush a cake, you're gonna end up with a mess on your hands. The other day I was making a birthday cake for my dad, and I tried to take it out of the pan too early, and it just completely was crumbled everywhere in my hands. I had that cake's blood on my hands. It's fudge on my hands. Anyway, I had to remake the cake. Everything was fine.
All right. Yeah, that's about it for Max Hart. Like I said, there's a new Hardiel, but we haven't met him yet. We just see him in the background being like, yeah, these girls are really fired up. Hooray.
It's time for DP.
Very interesting phrasing that you used there.
It's Delicious Party.
It is Delicious Party. Now, I guess this technically should go in the Doki Doki love letters or whatever we're calling them, but in our Discord, Magical Girl AU pointed out something interesting that I didn't know. The way that Ran shortens Black Pepper's name in Japanese is like Burapi or something like that, and it's supposed to be a reference to the way that Brad Pitt is referred to by teenage girls or whatever. So Ran seems like the one who would be like the most like interested in celebrity gossip and whatever, and she kind of uses that nickname for Black Pepper, but in the subtitles what we get is Black Pep or whatever, and IU was saying that there's quite a few people, there's quite a few people who would prefer that it was something like BP as a shortening of Black Pepper, because that would also be Brad Pitt, kind of in the English language. So I thought that was really neat.
I think that's neat, too. And that's what we were talking about the other day when we mentioned it would be nice to have translator notes again. Like, just to point out those small cultural things that don't make any sense in a direct translation, but are fun to know.
Yeah, or almost like after the episode, just like a quick little like 20-second of like, by the way, if you notice this in this episode.
I want to win PreCure trivia on my birthday. Joel's setting me up a huge 30th birthday bash, and I'm pretty sure PreCure trivia is going to be part of it.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just keep repeating that thought, and eventually you'll manifest it into real life.
I was going to say, it's the secret. I'm expecting a party to come to me, and so it will.
Okay. About this episode, I have two questions. First one, the basic one, did you like it?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think I did, and we can go into that in a second, but what's most important, number two, is like, do you buy the conflict between Ran and Amane?
No.
Okay, neither do I.
I get what Amane was trying to say. I think it's hard because sometimes when you're watching something that's very simplistic and meant for children, you project a lot of your own thoughts and feelings onto it as like background noise. And
some might say you do that with all art. Sorry.
You forget that they never actually said that on screen. And if they didn't say it, then it's not good storytelling, whether you interpreted that or not.
What's this? Some salient criticisms of Disney's Encanto, leveled by two different YouTube creators whom we respect very much, CJ the X and Explanation Points? Incredible.
Anyway, now you're going to have to link to those videos in the description, and the folks are going to come after us for bashing Encanto, and we didn't even make the videos.
People aren't going to come after us for bashing on Encanto. I think this is incredible, and I want to talk about the divide of, and I'm not kidding, but Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, because there are people who are like, this is so amazing, that scene with, save Martha, why did you say that name? What they see is a complex narrative in which Bruce Wayne has reduced all of his enemies down to faceless monsters who must simply be destroyed, and by hearing that faceless monster say something that humanizes him, Bruce Wayne has a brain flash, Jimmy Neutron style, and goes, I'm not fighting some weird blob monster, I'm fighting a dude who has a mom. And so I shouldn't kill him. And if that message had been brought across in the movie, I think everyone would have liked it. But all of the people, not all, but quite a few of the people who are like, this movie is kind of weird and meandering and doesn't really have a point, and the people who meme on that scene, what they see is this guy who's like, I'm gonna kill everyone, and then he hears one name that triggers his PTSD, and it just causes his character to flip 180 degrees.
You know what else is a really good example of this phenomena, where people's projection caused them to like a thing more than...
Harry Potter, Steven Universe,
Be quiet.
Star Wars.
Stop talking.
Okay.
Both One Piece and My Little Pony have this problem where there are so many characters that essentially are background characters that people can give them whatever personalities they want, and then they obsess over the personalities that they gave those characters. So I know that bothered you in My Little Pony, and it bothers you even more in One Piece with the Buggy Pirates.
Yes.
Because people love the Buggy Pirates, and you're like, why? They haven't done anything. It doesn't matter. They did things in our heart.
Absolutely.
The point I was getting at was that the Amane-Ran conflict did kind of make sense if you come at it from a place of projection, right? Amane thinks you should mind your own business and you should be supportive of people when they make decisions you don't like, and Ran thinks that a bad thing is happening and I should help. But Amane's position isn't really clearly stated, and also it seems like kind of a bad position. Like, we're told they're closing, we're told the reason is because a new shop is opening. Ran says, what if we drum up business here so that all the business doesn't go somewhere else? And Amane's like, no, I don't think we should give them any more business. I think we should let failing businesses fail.
Well, and like, yeah, exactly. And I think it's Kokone and Yui who say, like, we should ask to clarify, because if we're making an assumption, then we want to be on the right page. So I get the idea of, like, you don't want to jump to conclusions, and you don't want to kind of insert yourself in other people's business if they don't want you there. But it kind of feels like that wasn't really communicated. It feels like Rand's really passionate about something, and Amane is like, no, I'm going to shut you down. And then when Rand's like, but what about Thang? Amane's just like, no.
You know what else I thought would matter and, like, didn't really?
Okay.
At the beginning of the episode, Ran tells Amane that she is thinking about what flavor of shaved ice she wants to sell at her family's restaurant.
Oh, that's right.
Her favorite sweet shop is closing, and when she finally talks to the older woman who runs it, she says, I want to make room for other people to share these kinds of tastes with the world, and they have a really yummy shaved ice. And so it would have been nice, like, at the end of the episode, just to see Ran, you know, putting a sign up that said, like, green tea shaved ice, like, as an homage to this place that closed.
That would be really cool. Maybe it's a cutscene, maybe in the DVD Blu-ray extras that'll be on there.
Man, you know what? So, in the versions that we watch of shows that aren't available in the United States, we get the movie preview intros and outros.
That's right.
And Crunchyroll cuts those. But I want them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want translated versions. So, come on, Crunchyroll, help me out here. I guess, is it still... Oh, yeah, we were watching on Verve. Now it's Crunchyroll.
Absolutely.
I know what we watch this show on.
I have two more quick quotes to move on. So... Amane, at the beginning of the episode when Rand's going on one of her...
Food tangent
imaginations, right? She's imagining that she's, like, on top of a mountain yodeling or something, if I recall correctly. Amane asks the rest of the girls, is she always like this? And, like, yes, Amane, yes, she is.
So, that I've been obsessed with Hades Town recently, and that's a line in the song where Orpheus and Eurydice meet. Is he always like this? Yes.
Oh, yeah, and Hermes is like, he's always been like that.
So,
absolutely.
Of the Delicious Party girls, I have to know, who is Hermes? Is it Mari-chan?
I mean, it's either Mari-chan or Yui, I think, just because, like, yeah, I think so.
Okay, I like it. Also, does Amane ship with everyone?
No, I didn't get any kind of shipping feeling between Amane and Rand this episode. I could kind of see it, but it wasn't nearly as strong as in the Kokone episode.
I would agree that the Kokone episode was clear, like, these two want to hold hands.
Absolutely. Also, we did mention the Succinct Summary, but at the end of the episode, when they express their feelings to each other and they come to an understanding, they do a combo attack where they hold hands and it glows with like an orangish purplish energy, and it's quite good. If we didn't already have the Yui Kokone double punch picture from an earlier episode, this would probably be the hardest screenshot I've taken of.
I see the authors of Delicious Party have been reading your fanfic as well.
Yes, absolutely. Lastly, and this is going to segue nicely, I think, into talking about the future episodes. In this episode, Amane / Finale finally talks to Black Pepper / Takumi, and she says, "Why are you helping us?" And he kind of glances at Yui out of the corner of his eye, although his back is to them, so none of them saw it. But he then kind of goes, "Because I want to, no other reason," and then he leaves. So, they've been hinting at some kind of Amane Takumi kind of like tension. I don't even know if that's the right word, but just like some kind of suspicion. And next episode is called Black Pep's Retiring, Find the Legendary Crepe.
Crepe? Those are two different
What's a
episodes. Crepe? Nothing. What's a crepe with you?
I don't know if that one works in this situation.
It doesn't matter. I'm contractually obligated to say it every time. No, a crepe is a thin French pancake. You would eat the crepe.
Okay.
It's from a movie. It's from a movie.
I will not eat that crepe.
Yeah.
Anyways, what do you think of this episode?
The episode title is weird because it can't be about finding a legendary crepe and Black Pepper retiring. Pick one.
I think that it's both. I think maybe Black Pepper is retiring because he was unable to find the legendary crepe.
Okay, so is it possible that, like, Yui wants the crepe and he can't find it for her?
Oh,
and he feels
maybe.
like he's failed her as a man?
Yeah, I mean, this episode title just doesn't make any sense to me. I think I can see the connection between part 1 and part 2, part A, part B. But we're just gonna... What do you think if they find the legendary crepe? What's that going to do? Is that going to give them their new powered up attack?
Yeah, I think they'll smack Narsatoru with it. Just full-on crepe slap.
Okay.
And I think that'll be Narsatoru's final defeat. And then they'll get a group attack that they will be able to use on Secretoru, and it will fail against her, and they'll be like, oh no, we have to group attack harder than ever before.
And then they'll have to find the doubly legendary mega crepe.
I want crepes now. This season sucks.
It's kind of dangerous.
Hungry.
Yeah. It absolutely is.
Do you have any other thoughts on why Black Pepper might be retiring?
He was lying in bed, and he got a text from Yui, and he was so excited that he shot upright and banged his head on a wood beam, on a support beam in his house, and got knocked out. And so he has to retire because he gave himself a concussion.
You know what else it could be?
What's that?
This is less crack theory and more legit theory, but maybe he's tired of feeling left out. Like, maybe there's another time where Yui's like, there's gotta be a place in town that has the best crepes, and Takumi's like, I know a place, and then she runs off with the girls, and so he retires because he's not a real part of the team.
Okay, yeah, and then they have to kind of, like, welcome him into the team officially and give him hugs and whatever. I really like that. Also, Yui, Takumi fans stay winning in this episode because all of the girls get turned into candy casings or whatever. They're like stuck, and the bad guy is going to kill Yui, and Takumi saves her. And when she gets out of the candy casing, it's the Princess Carrie kind of position or whatever. I saw a hilarious meme of him posing it, being like, "Wow, look at us. We look like
we look like a couple."
Yeah, and then Yui comments on it with like a couple of besties. So I kind of feel bad making fun of Takumi, but it's sort of funny if you don't humanize him too much to kind of imagine this character who like wants to be a main character but just can't. Is just regulated to background character.
He's trying so hard. You've heard of a calzone. Yui's baking him into the friend zone.
And that has been your final thought. Outro goes here. Seriously, watch CJ the X's subjectivity in art video. It's an hour and a half, but it's very good. Bye.
Thank you all for joining us for another delicious plateful of
Cure of the What Now.
Please take a moment to rate and review wherever you get your podcasts from.
Or if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to leave a comment, a like, or lick that subscribe bell so you know when the new episodes are going up.
Did you just say lick it?
Well, yeah, we're baking delicious foods. It's a delicious party.
Anyway, you can find me on Twitter at Pirate Ghost Host. Please don't lick me.
Can you even lick a ghost? I'm on Twitter at Kotwin_pod.
KOTWN_pod.
Absolutely. And as always, the Discord link is in the Twitter bio and also in the YouTube description.
Come join us for weekly discussions, streams, and all of the PreCure your heart can handle. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Yum. Or no, I'm full.